Hey guys, Melmsy here. I'm going to be explaining what the please settings and please server configuration commands do. And I think it will be pretty helpful to some of those of you who don't even know some of these settings exist. So we're going to start off first here with personal settings. Right at the top, we've got DM notifications. So basically, like when you get robbed or you die or an item expires, you will get a DM, a personal message from Dank instead of just having to check your notifs with please notifs. Highly recommend this being enabled. Very helpful. Vote reminders. So if you have this enabled, you will get a message in chat to remind you to vote. And it only triggers when you run a command. It won't trigger, like if you need to vote and you haven't used the bot in 3 days, you're not going to get a reminder. So you'll have to actively be using the bot for this to be useful, but I do recommend using it. Level up notifications. So this will toggle whether or not you get notifications for leveling up. If you level a lot and you're sick of, getting told you're leveling up, turn them off. Otherwise, keep them on. Level up messages. So this will actually toggle whether or not your messages will come in chat or in your notifications. So if you don't want your notifications, being spammed, and you just want to see that you leveled up here in the chat, you can enable this. And so when you level up, it'll tell you in chat right then that you leveled up. Reply pings. When disabled, Discord native replies will not ping you when replying. So that's this reply feature, when you hit reply and it will ping someone, like you'll see, like the yellow around you when you get replied to. You can have that so it doesn't ping you when the bot replies to you. And again, this is only when the bot replies to you. We can't control if a user's replying to you and pinging you. Second page of settings, warning confirmations. Toggles whether or not you'll get a confirmation warning before sending a large amount of coins, items, or expensive purchases. This is super useful if you trade a lot. You don't want to accidentally send the wrong item. You don't want to, give someone a trophy when you meant to give them a rare Pepe. And this also happens when you're buying expensive items. Highly recommend you keep this one on. And then the setting below it, confirmation number. So this changes the value that the confirmation will trigger at. So by default, it's at 100,000. So if you send an item that is worth more than 100,000, you will get a warning, and you have to confirm that you want to do that. And you can change this value to any number that you want. Able to be sniped. The please snipe command. Some people love it, some people hate it. If you don't want people being able to see your deleted messages, maybe you're like me and you just screw up your words a lot and you're always deleting messages, you can just disable this. Texts. If you have a friend who is constantly using the phone item to send you texts, turn this off. They won't be able to text you anymore. You won't get texts from anyone. It's fantastic if people are annoying you. Pirate speak. If you want the bot to basically kind of speak like a pirate, you want to turn this on. So for example, you turns into ye, like ye. A lot of different words change. That's just the easiest example to give. Family friendly mode, excuse me. So this is currently in beta. Because of the way we do it's a little hacky. This will come out of beta when our rewrite's done. But what it does is if you don't want, quote unquote curse words and the bot quote unquote cursing at you and not safe for work content when you run commands, you turn this on. Turning family friendly mode on will help filter out some of the more mature language. Passive mode toggles whether or not the passive mode will be on. This means you cannot interact with other users. On one hand, you can't be stolen from, but on the other, you can't steal from someone, you can't gift, you can't share, etc. And when you have this enabled, there are some debuffs. Like in the gamble command, you lose more money by default just by having passive on. And you have a negative multiplier at this time if you have passive mode on. Passive mode is really not meant to be on for most people. We want people to be robbing and stealing with each other and interacting with each other. It's more for people who just don't really care to interact with others. They just want to, fish and work all day. Tips: toggles whether or not commands have a small chance to show useful information through random tips. We try to update these every once in a while. Sometimes it's a link to the rules. Sometimes it's like, hey, did you know that you can turn off tips? Stuff like that. I would recommend having it on because if there's a feature you don't realize exists, there might be a tip for it. And you actually get a little bit of a secret multiplier when you have tips on. And that is all for settings. Yeah, we all see the developer mode here. Obviously, that's not for you guys. You can only see it here because I ran the command. And in case you're curious, in case you think this is like God mode hacks, all it does is remove my cooldowns, so I can run commands without cooldowns, so I can help test things. So we are going to move on now to the server configurations command. So this is for server administrators. If you have the admin permission or the managed server permission in a server, you can edit these. First up is random events. Having this disabled prevents random events from spawning for any members in a server. If you have people spamming commands all the time and you're sick of these random events and no one's even doing them, just turn it off. It'll reduce spam, and yeah, things will be a little bit cleaner. Robbing. If this is disabled, it will disable please steal for the entire server, ignoring enabled commands. Enabled commands and disabled commands have nothing to do with this setting. This setting is more for servers who don't really feel like learning the complexity of the enable and disable system, and you just want to quick turn things off so people can't rob. And the good thing about using this over disables is that it will actually send a message to chat saying, hey, robbing's not enabled here, you dummy. And then the same goes for the heists. This is basically the same, but it's for bank rob instead of steal. Rob protection. Highly recommend this one. Prevents members who joined within the last day from robbing anyone in this server. Super helpful if you have people just raiding your rob enabled server and they just won't leave you alone. They have to be in your server for at least 24 hours to be able to rob if you have this enabled. And lastly, family friendly mode. This is the same as the user setting family friendly mode, except it's for everyone. Like you can basically bypass everyone else's setting in this server. So if, for instance, you don't want the pink phallic object showing up anywhere in the server, disable this. Like I said, it's in beta. It's not perfect because we kind of do it in a hacky way, but it will get better over time, and it's better than nothing for now. So these were the server settings and the user settings. If you have any questions, feel free to ask on Reddit or join our support server, and we would be more than happy to answer those questions and help out. And we have a great community that loves to help people out on the subreddit as well. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, more updates soon.